So, you're ready to start making money outside of your 9-to-5 job. And you're ready to build your way to financial freedom. Now, the only issue is, number one, you don't know where to start. And number two, you don't know what options are available to you. That's why you need to watch this video right now, because I'm going to show you the 5 best side hustles that you can start today and make a lot of money. In fact, the money that you can make from these side hustles will help you, number one, build your path to financial freedom. And number two, they could be the catalyst to propel you out of your 9-to-5 job. The first side hustle is Twitter. The reason why Twitter ranks at the top of my 5 side hustle list is because, number one, it's flexible. You can literally work anywhere. Imagine working in a far off island. How cool is that? Number two, you can make a lot of money. Some people have earned up to $120,000 a month on Twitter. And that is incredible because oftentimes $120,000 is more than what people make a year. Imagine the earning potential on this platform. And the third reason, you don't have to be a certain age. You can have any passion, you can have any background. You don't have to have an Ivy League degree. You don't even have to have a college degree. All you need is to have determination and the ability to create content consistently. Now I'm gonna let you in on a secret. Twitter actually helped earn me $20,000 in passive income in just a year. In fact, this was within the first 2 years of me starting my Twitter platform. Now let's talk about the ways that you can actually make money on Twitter. So first is becoming a ghostwriter. Now, a ghostwriter, for those of you who don't know, they essentially create content for others. Business owners, entrepreneurs, CEOs, agency owners, all of these people, they don't have time to sit at a table to think about what type of content they're gonna go and actually publish, actually write the content, edit the content, schedule the content. It's so much work. It's not worth it for these guys. In fact, if you become a ghostwriter on Twitter and really build a good reputation, you have good engagement, your tweets that you create for others actually have massive reach, and number three, people trust you, you can literally make $12,000, $20,000 or more per client. So how do you actually become popular on Twitter and become a trusted source on Twitter? First, you want to simply start by creating your own Twitter account if you haven't already. Make it clean, make it professional. Make sure that your profile picture looks good too. The second step is simply focusing on building creative and good content. By good, I mean valuable, adding value to your audience and your community. And one of the best places to start is looking at Create 24/7. It's a masterclass community, and I actually joined it, and I'm still part of this community where people from all over the Twitter sphere and creators as well as consumers join in this community and learn from some of the best people on Twitter. The second way you can make money on Twitter is simply by starting a community. A community is a place where like-minded people come together and talk with each other. So, for example, one of the communities I mentioned previously, the Twitter 24/7 Masterclass. This is a community where people come together who want to learn and grow on Twitter together. Now, some communities, they charge just $5 a month, and they have a Discord channel, they have some sort of interaction, they have weekly classes, etc. It's totally up to you on how to structure that community. Other communities, they charge $50 a month, if not more. Let's say you love gardening and you want to start a gardening community and you charge just $5 a month. You have 100 people join. That's $500 extra every single month. So we're talking about $6,000 a year in extra income. Now, if you ask me, $6,000, my entire grocery bill for the year. The third step to making money on Twitter is by building your email list. Twitter is an amazing platform to build an email list. So far, I have over 13,000 email subscribers, and most of them were either built through my website or from Twitter. Because my audience reach, which is over 200,000 followers right now on Twitter, it spans worldwide. Building my email list has been the best thing I've done so far, because not only can I provide direct advice to my followers, but I can also help sell some courses, for example, that I'm creating that makes me money passively, but also helps my followers who are genuinely interested in personal finance and learning more. And finally, the fourth way to earn money on Twitter is by selling your courses and your products. For example, if you've built your own course on how to become an expert gardener, you can literally do that on Twitter. Promote your courses. Promote the products that you offer or the services that you offer. Let's move on to the second side hustle. Now, disclaimer, this little side hustle might not actually be up everyone's alley, but let me tell you, it is outside of the box and it can make people up to $30,000 a month. The second side hustle is starting your own pet waste removal business. I know it sounds a little stinky, but believe me, it actually makes sense and it makes money. I want you to take some time and think about a person you know in your life that has a dog. Think about the dogs that, basically do a number two and the people don't actually pick up after them. Now, why is this side hustle on my list? It's on my list for several reasons. Number one, you can make an insane amount of money. People don't like touching their animals' waste. It's a true fact. Number two, you can leave your day job for this. Because there's so much money you can make, you could actually leave your day job after several months of starting in this side hustle business. So how do you make money from this rather stinky business model? Well, let me tell you, it all comes down to the number of clients you have per week. Now, typically speaking, if you want to make a profit with this type of business model, you want to have between 50 to 80 clients a week. Now, per client, you can charge maybe $10 to $15 a client. Not only that, you can create a subscription-based model. You can actually charge your clients on a weekly revolving basis. How can you advertise? Advertising is easy. Use platforms like Twitter, which we just talked about. Use platforms like Facebook or create your own website and advertise your services that way. So how do you actually make money from this pet waste removal service? One, you gotta do market research. You need to figure out, are you living in an area that actually has a demand for removing pet waste? Sometimes, for example, you'll find yourself in a city where it requires owners already to remove their pet waste. The second step to building a pet waste removal business is simply building an entity. So, especially in America, you want to build something that protects you from legal liability. If you're removing pet waste, I'm sure everyone's going to be thankful, but you might want to be safe just to make sure. One cool tip that I would suggest that one of my friends actually told me about is downloading the app called Hurdler. The app Hurdler will help track your miles as you start traveling between location to location to location in your pet waste removal business. Now, these miles can be tax deductible if you have a business. And finally, one additional item I would say is some cities or counties might actually require you to obtain a hazardous waste license. The hazardous waste license is actually a way for you to discard the pet waste in the local dump or garbage, because that's considered hazardous waste and oftentimes needs to be processed otherwise compared to other trash. The next step in promoting your pet waste removal business is by marketing. Using marketing platforms like social media, and you might also want to promote yourself on platforms like the Greater Chamber of Commerce in your local community. Finally, what I've seen worked very well is at least building a soft launch. A soft launch is where a product or a business is released to only a particular set of audience members. So in other words, your soft launch of your pet waste removal business is only launched to perhaps people in a certain zip code or only to friends and family. And once you kind of get their feedback and try to improve your own services and business, you can actually launch to the rest of the local area. And finally, once you find that your pet waste removal business is growing, you want to start scaling that business to help earn more income. The third side hustle that you should consider is becoming a flipper. And no, I don't mean the dolphin flipper. I actually mean a person who starts flipping items or even houses to make make money down the road. The reason why I think being a flipper is a great way to make money on a side hustle is number one, it's flexible. You don't have to be located in America. You can be located anywhere in the world. Number two, you get to work with your hands. Being a flipper helps you actually see the physical improvements on the object that you're building and improving. So what actually does the word flipper mean? Well, to be a flipper, you either buy or find for free an item that you improve or build upon. Then once it's improved, you simply sell it for a profit. So what are some things that you can actually flip? They include cars, picture frames, houses, chairs, tables, books. If you want to get really savvy, you can even start flipping domains, for example, or websites. So there's certainly two things you can do. You can flip physically or you can flip digitally. One of the best marketplaces for website flippers is actually called Flippa, and you can find so many different websites there if you scroll through. If you're looking for physical things to flip, I would probably check out eBay, maybe Facebook Marketplace, or even your local garage sale. The fourth side hustle, which I'm sure many of you are going to love, is playing video games for a living. So why is it on my list? Number one, it's flexible. Anyone, anywhere can be a video gamer. Number two, you could make a lot of money. I mean, you could literally stack money on top of each other if you're good. And number three, it's just fun, right? If you've always loved video games since you were a child, why not monetize it? Now, how much money can you actually make from playing video games? Well, guess what? You could make up to $60,000 a month. Don't get me wrong, that's probably the top 1 or top 2% of gamers out there. So, how do you actually start making money becoming a video gamer? The first thing you have to do is become really, really good at one particular game. For example, League of Legends, or Call of Duty, or World of Warcraft. You don't know how many people would pay in order to find a coach that would help them level up through these games. Did you know that the average video gamer spends $58,000 on video game equipment in their lifetime? That is an indicator that shows if you have an audience that is engaged, that wants to participate, and that is willing to pay, you can make so much money. The second step to building your side hustle in video gaming is becoming a coach. It's kind of logical because if you've become in the top 2 or top 5% in the world in a particular game, people are gonna come to you and they want to know your expertise. They wanna know what your tricks are. And believe me, people are willing to pay big bucks. People are willing to pay $100 to $250, even more dollars every hour. The third way to make money video gaming after coaching is simply by streaming your actual game on platforms like YouTube, on platforms like Facebook, or even Twitch. You can make money that way through donations, subscribers, or even ad revenue on YouTube if you've really become a popular influencer in the gaming industry. And the fifth side hustle, also one of my favorite, is just building an ebook. You can literally write about anything, publish it, package it up, make money right then and there. How much could you earn? Well, that really depends on several factors. Number one, it depends on the topic that you're writing about. Number two, it depends on your audience and how engaged they are. And number three, it depends on how well you promote your book. Now, as an example, I wrote my very first book in my very first year of starting my journey as the Millennial Money Woman. And within that first year, I wrote an ebook. I promoted it on my Twitter platform. And at the time I had about maybe 5,000 to 10,000 followers. And I made $2,000 in the very first week of selling my book. Now, other people can actually make a lot more money than what I did in my first week. As an example, I have a friend on Twitter who built his own ebook. He sold it for $19.50 or something like that, and people loved it. They kept buying and buying, and finally, he built his own community around it, which is one of the ways you can make money on Twitter, which is what I spoke about earlier. So let's get into it. How do you actually start an ebook? First, you want to figure out what are you actually writing about? What is your favorite topic? Your topics can be anything about gardening, photography, finance, the list goes on. The next step is figuring out the format of the ebook. It can be a how-to guide, it can be educational, it can be a story. Then of course, you want to start building an actual structure and outline for your ebook. Once you're in the middle of writing a book, and I want you guys to listen to this, you actually want to start doing a pre-order, because pre-orders actually help prepare people to think about this book that will come to market. It's kind of like planting the seed in people's minds about the ebook. So you want to create a nice, fancy, good-looking cover. You want to market this cover on your platforms like social media, your email list, whatnot, and then say, hey, if you're interested in this book, put in your email and I'll send you some updates about the book. They don't even need to buy it. It's just a measure for you, the author of the book, to figure out, hey, does this book and does this topic attract readers? If you get a low audience participation, if not many people are signing up or putting in their email address to get more updates about your book, maybe it's not the right topic to send to your audience. That's why pre-orders work. They save you time and money. So if the reception is poor, just stop and maybe try to change the topic or change the subject of your ebook. If the reception is pretty good, keep writing and then see how it does. The next step is starting a promotional campaign. You want to reach out to partners, for example. If you have partners on Twitter, if you have partners on Facebook or other members who have also big email lists, send them an email. Something that I did as well to promote my book is hosting a Twitter Spaces. For example, I spoke to many people who had questions about personal finance, who didn't really know what maybe an index fund was or what dollar cost averaging was. I, of course, helped explain that in an educational manner, but I also told them about my ebook. And finally, the best step is to get testimonials. You can get testimonials from your friends, from your family, from people that are good and very close with you on Twitter or on any other social media platforms. You could even ask some of the email subscribers on your email list to send a review in exchange for a free copy of your book. And then don't forget to add these testimonials to a landing page. And finally, before you launch your book, you want to find a self-publishing service or platform. For example, Amazon Kindle Direct Publishing Platform, which is KDP. You could also use Gumroad, which is what I used, or you could use other platforms like Smashwords, for example. Each of these platforms, they take a certain share of your book sale. Gumroad can take up to 10% of whatever you sell in your book. You receive the other 90% or so. Amazon KDP typically takes 20 to 40%. You receive the rest in royalties, right, per book sale, and so on and so forth. And finally, when it's time to launch your book, you need to push like crazy. Really try to incorporate your book in almost every single email and every single post, every conversation you can. And those, my friends, are my top 5 side hustles that can help you escape the rat race and move toward financial freedom. With each of my methods, you can start making money right now. I'll also mention that there are some really out of this world side hustles, but unfortunately, for the sake of time, I couldn't mention them in this video. However, if you scroll down and look at the link below, you'll see a link to subscribe to my email list. Or you can go to my website, themillennialmoneywoman.com. In my email list, I'm going to tell you the best side hustles out there. They're gonna blow your mind and you can make money this month, if not this year. And who knows? You might even find your favorite side hustle and start making money ASAP. That's it for now, friends. Cheers.